Now let's talk about the dude from the Baby Stone Gorillas, right? I just watched two videos speaking on that. Young and Hefe and Bobby A. Shout out to both of them. They was speaking on that video, reacting to it and whatnot. And neither one of them were happy. You know, they both was very like, not happy with the dude saying disrespectful things towards the Crips so loosely, so freely. It's just, he was just going off on the rant. And they had every right to. And they also was, you know, giving out some great advice that, if you could gather it, it would definitely do you some benefit, right? Like, I definitely feel like it was uncalled for. I definitely feel like in the space of like trying to be a rapper or an entertainer or being a person who's trying to, to survive in your field, you want to gather as many supporters, believers, as you can. You don't want to ruin that by drawing a line, and you don't have to. Especially when it's like, okay, you from BPS, you a blood, people already understand that. So if you put out something that people can rock with, they gonna rock with it regardless. But it's one thing to overlook the fact that you are a blood, and then it's another thing to try to overlook you being disrespectful to some other guys, right? That's real. So I ain't really tripping, like, because that's how the Baby Stone Gorilla dude he is. He's a loud guy. I ain't really tripping. Like, a lot of Damus feel that way. Some, probably ain't gonna really express it like that. But a lot of Damus feel that way. They move more as one and move more like in a unit. The Crips is the most, the divided part of the situation. Like if some Hispanic problems break out, they quick to kind of turn it into a race issue. If some Damus get into it, they kind of quick to try to, get into some Damu activity. The Crips mentality is always willing to, let things section off and bracket off and all that type of stuff. And I say that to say that's just what my experiences is. You know what I mean? Not to necessarily say what's right or what's wrong in none of them scenarios, but the mentalities is different. So, it'd be rare that you don't see no, like, if you could see a picture of some Crips and they won't be throwing up F or P or F or B. But you ain't gonna never really miss out on seeing a picture with multiple down moves in it and ain't nobody saying F or C in it, right? Or throwing up PK, PK, CK, however, throwing it up, right? You just gonna be rare you see that in the down moves. But with the Crips, you ain't gotta all you ain't gonna never, it's not gonna be a lot of, it's not like that. So I ain't really surprised. However, I think that dude is like, exposing himself more. Like, it's one thing, like, say, if you want to get on live or if you want to get on the internet or whatever, a PSA, I can see that for a fight. But if you really trying to like PSA and put your business out there and you also acting like you trying to really do something terrible to somebody, that might not be the right route. Now, I can say that that means that the dude from Baby Stone Gorillas is not really like that. That's a viewing point. Or I can say that dude is uh maybe really going through things and the pressure is getting heavy and he's having to do certain things and he's losing his mind. Mixing that up with the intoxication, so maybe he can be on the path of finna crash out. Which is, he got to either get a hold of himself or he gonna just crash out. But like, you don't gotta put so much on. And that's where people be rude, like, they come up short at when it comes to they self. Like, quit representing yourself like you some monster or you some, notorious figure or you some type of extreme member. And then you ain't gotta really take nothing off. Or you don't gotta try to figure out how to keep that same image. It's okay to be normal, like, you just can't be no chump, can't be no sucker, Can't be nobody that people just gonna have their way with. You can't be none of that. No turning down the fades. Y'all know the guidelines. And if you really is on that extra activity, stick to it and get on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta stick to that same energy once you get on that type of energy. Just keeping it a Benji. And I just like, if dude want to have a real image and people take him serious from the internet perspective, since he going live and stuff like that, which means he somewhere down the line he kind of care for what the internet think. I feel like when the next scenario present itself with you, you got to really get active, like for real. I'm aware of a few things pertaining to dude. This recent live where he's saying 100 different dissing Crips 100 times and all that. uh Another video where I guess he was fighting one of his homies or something, and then the court incident. Now the incident where he was fighting, dude looked like he was he was might like a younger dude and a smaller guy. Then dude from in the courtroom, it's like, okay, I can see, y'all might not got active in the courtroom, but to just have a dude like following you, talking crazy with a camera, and you getting away from the camera, that's a bad look. You know what I'm saying? Like, we at the courtroom. This one of the safest places you can get in. Meaning that it ain't no fire on. So if dude and them was just talking to you crazy in the courtroom and then proceeds to try to like follow behind you and harass you all behind outside the courtroom, that's a whole nother subject. I could never go through nothing like that. Like, harass me and chase me all out the courtroom like that, like, I just wouldn't do it. Now, if you just gonna be a goofy and you really a studio type of guy and you like some type of nerd type of guy or something like that, I guess I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just weirdo dude just trying to get the wrong type of attention, then that's another thing. But if we talking about a gang member, a normal person or whatever, whatever, if y'all get what I mean, then I'm not finna be walking away from nobody being disrespectful to where they could just be filming me on camera like that. That's just not what would happen. Now, I don't know. And then, dude was talking about he gonna get a gun or something like that. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna shoot somebody in front of the courtroom? That's dumb. And then if you afraid to fight, you probably going to jail for sure shooting somebody in front of the court. So now you got to do all that fighting you just was trying not to do anyway. One fade then turned into 50 to, a mini, however you gonna end up having. But it's just like, people got to start thinking, man. And I ain't really been seeing a lot of things about the baby stone gorillas or dude recently. So maybe dude and them is probably, maybe dude just trying to get back relevant in the content space or whatever. Or matter of fact, dude is actually responding to faux extras and stuff like that, because I guess Adam and them brought that back up on Adam on No Jumper. So I guess, but it seemed like all that, since that was brought back up recently on No Jumper, dude is definitely going off. But that's my take on it, man. Dudes gotta know, like, man, when that time present itself, that's when you supposed to be tough, and that's when you supposed to get cracking, and you supposed to make it happen. You can't get no points off them creative situations, man. Like, you can, but I mean, it ain't gonna be, that concrete. When things occur that's audio control, random, you gotta sink or swim. And that's when you're gonna get that image you need. That's just simple math. So you ain't never got to even worry about trying to look for things and all that. I mean, if you want to look for the trouble and the problems, that's cool too. But I'm just saying, my advice to people, you ain't never got to worry about that. But you better be worried about when that problem come to you. And you got to be ready. Not when you got the energy. Not when you in it, you know what I mean, when you on that. But when you run across them dudes and them people when they on that and they turned up. If you going to be able to hold yourself to that level that if you're going to be able to hold yourself to that image you done put upon yourself. So shout out to dude though, man. You know, hopefully he could get some better guidance or whatever, man. It is what it is, man. But he need to, you know, tighten himself up. And those around him that care about him need to tighten him up. Real talk. And take some of that advice, man, that was in Bobby A video and what's in Young and Hefe video. And maybe what was in mine. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.